All right, guys, today we are going to be reacting to 15 things to know about Australians before moving to Australia. Let's jump in, guys. Let's see what's going on.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're talking about Australians. What are they like? What should you expect when you move here? If you're interested, keep watching. Something that caught my attention when I first came to Australia 7 years ago is that people are very friendly. I never forget my first week here. I was walking down the street, completely lost, looking for the supermarket, and suddenly a very lovely Australian couple approached me and they asked me, "Are you lost? Do you want some help?" And they helped me to find the supermarket. And how amazing was that? I didn't ask for any help, but they just came and helped me. And this friendliness is also reflected in the fact that they love small talk. Believe it or not, Australians love to talk to strangers, and that's another thing that really caught my attention. When you're on the tram, for example, people just start talking to each other or they make jokes. For example, if you're walking down the street, someone might yell, "Oh, nice t-shirt." It's so amazing. And I feel that this friendliness is also reflected on the fact that Australians call everyone mate. Cheers, mate. Cheers, buddy. How you going, mate? Good day, mate. And yeah, it makes you feel good.
Good day, mate.
So yeah, Australians are super friendly, super laid back. And of course, in relation to that, Australians are also very informal. I'll give you an example. They love
Formal or
walking
informal?
barefoot.
Hold on. Informal or informal?
Australians are super friendly, super laid back. And of course, in relation to that, Australians are also very informal. I'll give you an example. They love walking barefoot, even around the city. I saw that in my first week in Australia. I was about to cross the street and suddenly I have a girl standing next to me wearing a beautiful dress, but she was barefoot. They're so laid back and so free. And of course, informality is also reflected in the Australian slang and the shortening of words. For example,
That is
I'll see you
interesting.
disable.
It has to. I'm assuming it has to do with the island feel to it, right? They live in an island. Plus, the weather is hot, right? So they're like, "Oh man, whatever. We're just gonna kill two birds with one stone. We're gonna just be very nice to people, but we're gonna be barefoot as well."
Which means I'll see you this afternoon. I'm going to have brekkie now. I'm going to have breakfast now. The dress code is also very informal. Everyone wears flip-flops or thongs
Island time.
everywhere. Australians are also very respectful, and I talked about this in my video about Australian workplace culture. Australians are very respectful. They're always saying thank you, sorry, pardon, no worries.
Yeah, I never thought about moving, just going to Australia. Never in my mind. It'll be a nice place to go.
Nice to meet you, please. In terms of respect, for example, it's considered super disrespectful if you go to a shop or to a restaurant and you complain about a product by yelling or swearing or insulting at the customer service representative or at retail staff. So yeah, this is a society
basically Karens are banned in Australia.
that really values respect and politeness. Another thing that you should know about Australians is that they make appointments for absolutely everything, whether it is to go to the doctor or to see a friend. I know that in some cultures you can just drop by your friend's house and say, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" But not in Australia. Here usually you call your friends and you organize a time to see them during the week, but you don't pop up
Out of nowhere, yeah.
And speaking of making appointments, usually it's considered rude if you are late. So that's another thing. Australians really value punctuality and being on time. Personal space and greetings. Australians really love their privacy and their personal space. So this means that if you're talking to someone, you do so by keeping a bit of distance. Or for example, if you're in line, you keep a bit of distance as well. Too much proximity sometimes can feel a bit uncomfortable. And this of course goes for greetings as well. When you meet someone for the first time, you don't kiss them on the cheek or you don't hug them. You usually say, "Hey, how you going?" Or you shake their hands. If you know them and they're your friends, you can give them a hug, and that's usually the case, especially with women. Guys usually just shake hands, even if they know each other. Also, when you shake someone's hand and this is the first time you've met them, you usually say, "Nice to meet you too." Relationships, whether it is friendships or romantic relationships, usually take a bit of time to develop, and consent is something very important as well. You don't force anyone into an intimate relationship, and also bear in mind that both men and women are considered equals. Both people in the relationship have to be in agreement that they want to be with each other. If you're invited to
That's kind of weird. Australia, let me know in the comment section if this is real or not, guys. I'm just reacting to this. Like, bro, I think that's a little too much. I don't think that... Guys, let me know in the comment section below.
Someone's house here in Australia, the expectation is that you're going to reply, whether it is accepting that invitation or declining. But it is considered rude if you leave them hanging, wondering whether you're going to be able to make it or not.
All
So
right.
always RSVP, that is reply to that invitation.
Good point.
If you're
That's very
invited to someone's house or a social gathering and they say bring your own BYO, this means that they're expecting you to bring your own drinks. And this is the case for almost any social gathering here in Australia. Most people bring their own drinks because alcohol here is very expensive. Many times you'll also be asked.
Australia alcohol is very expensive? Why is that? I guess you guys make your own, right? Let me know in the comment section below. Why is that?
To bring a plate, and that means to bring a dish of your liking to contribute to the table, and everyone shares the food. So this is very, very common. In terms of the dish that you can bring, usually finger food such as sausage rolls or pies would be okay, or even meat for the barbecue, or a pasta salad. Also, speaking of barbecues, it's very common in Australia to have a barbecue at the park to celebrate a birthday or an occasion with your friends. And you'll see that there are many public barbecues all along different parks, and that's something that really
very nice.
love about Australia. And remember that Australians call barbecues barbies. Another very common social gathering in Australia is the housewarming party. And this caught my attention because it's not something common in my culture. But basically a housewarming party is that when you move into a new house, you host a party with your friends. And you show them your new house, you show them the bedrooms, the living room, you have some drinks, some finger food.
Oh, that's nice.
It's another excuse
That's
to
very nice. Nice culture,
meet with people and socialize. Oh, and if you're invited for dinner here in Australia, dinner usually starts at 6 or 7 p.m. And don't be late. Remember that Australians really, really love punctuality. And if you're going to be late, let them know. In terms of food, Australians really love Vegemite, Tim Tams, smashed avocado, Indian food, fish and chips, Thai food, and any Asian food. Really, every time that I talk to my Australian friends and I say, what would you say it's a national Australian dish? It's very hard for them to really pinpoint what's the typical Australian dish, because Australia is so multicultural. You'll find amazing dishes from lots of different cultures.
Oh my God,
You'll be surprised to hear, maybe not, but in Australia, kangaroo as well is a typical dish.
No. You guys delete kangaroos in Australia to eat them. No. Aussies. Do you guys really delete kangaroos to eat them?
If you want to dine out, go to a restaurant. Usually restaurants close at 9:30, 10 p.m. and that's the latest. Which is really funny because I come from a Spanish culture.
I knew it. I knew she was Spanish. I knew it from my left field, and I knew it from miles away. I knew it, man. I knew it.
10 p.m. is usually peak hour.
Spaniards. You look like a Spaniard.
Australians love their drinks, especially beer and wine. And they have a pretty strong drinking culture. And it seems that that's one of the main reasons as well why alcohol is so expensive here, because it's heavily taxed to discourage its consumption. Another drink that Australians love, especially here in Melbourne, is coffee. The coffee culture is huge. And the coffee is so good. Australians love environmental conservation. They really look after their parks and nature and wildlife. They're very environmentally conscious. Here, recycling is very common.
Hey, shout out to Australia. Shout out to Australia, that's very good.
With coffee, Australians usually use reusable cups, especially at work. No littering of the streets. Parks, you always take a rubbish bag with you. If you go camping, if you go hiking, there are very, very hefty fines if you litter. If you go camping, hiking, or you are in nature, the best way to behave is to follow the leave no trace principles. That is, don't disturb wildlife. If you find logs or dirt or flowers, just leave them in their place. Don't leave rubbish behind. Always take your rubbish bag with you. Playing music out loud at a campsite or at the beach is considered rude, but I'm going to make a video about the things that you shouldn't do here in Australia, so stay tuned. Another thing about conservation is that Australians are very conscious when it comes to saving water, because there are many droughts around the country.
Yep.
So being mindful of the amount of water that you use when you take a shower. The rule is usually a 3-minute shower.
Damn, 3-minute shower? God damn, bro. No way, 3-minute shower, bro. 3-minute shower, it's by 3 minutes you're starting to feel the shower. Damn, man.
Australia is a very multicultural nation, and this means that they celebrate a lot of cultural festivities such as Chinese New Year, Diwali, and many others. Christmas in Australia is a public holiday, and Australians usually celebrate Christmas by having lunch with their family on the 25th of December. They don't usually celebrate Christmas Eve. The 26th of December is a public holiday as well in Australia, and this is called Boxing Day. Traditionally, this day represents a day when the rich give money and donations to those in need, but nowadays Boxing Day is the day when most retail stores have huge sales on different products. Australians also celebrate New Year's Eve on the 31st of December, and you'll see fireworks shows all over the country. Especially, of course, the Sydney one is the most popular one across the world. Fun fact: did you know that Australians are not allowed to set off their own fireworks? This is actually illegal in Australia. So if you were expecting to buy your fireworks, I'm sorry to say, but you won't be able to.
Can't do it? Damn, man.
Australia Day, this is a
I don't do that, but it's kind of fun when people do it, but
public holiday that takes place on the 26th of January, which marks the day when British colonies arrived for the first time in the Australian continent. But this is a bit of a controversial date, and many people...
Why is that controversial? It's a heritage. I don't get it. Is the beginning of their country as they know it.
The young ones don't really celebrate Australia Day anymore, because this day also marks a day when Aboriginal or First Nations people were brutally...
Oh man, I don't know how to react here, guys. I really don't know how to react, guys. That's interesting. I don't know how to react, guys. The British, they just landed here.
colonized by the newly arrived British colonies. And there are more and more social movements that are calling for this day to be completely abolished or changed. So bear that in mind. Every time 26th of January comes in, there's going to be a lot of movement.
It's the same with Columbus Day, man, but I'm just gonna keep my opinions out because I don't know. I'm just gonna just leave it there.
Something that you should know is that Australians don't usually debate about politics or religion. In many countries, including mine, debating about all these issues is very, very common, especially when you're in social gatherings or with your family over the table, you usually debate about these things. This is not the case in Australia. So if you're at work or just with your Australian friends, try to avoid these topics because it may make some people feel uncomfortable. If you want to find a topic to talk about in Australia, sports is your best bet, especially footy and cricket. If you don't know
cricket in Australia is big, okay. Cricket, really? Huh.
Footy is, this refers to the AFL or Australian football, and this is a sport unique to Australia. After 7 years of living here, I must be honest, I still don't get footy, but most of my Australian friends are crazy about footy. They go to the footy every weekend. They love it.
That's kind of high, man, bro. You're gonna fall, man. Sit down.
Matches, and I really...
Yo, that's high. You better sit down, man. You're about to fall down, man.
I love the atmosphere, and I think the beauty of this sport is that it's very family-oriented. And because it's so family-oriented, when you are there, there's no really aggression or violence, unlike how
that's nice. That's very
people
nice.
Are cheering and they're mixing up with people from the other team, and there's no aggression. So I highly recommend going at least to one footy match and experiencing the atmosphere and what it is like to be there. It's a very, very big part of the Australian culture. So this is all for now. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.
Very nice video. At least that's a very good glimpse. Very interesting. Let's see where's this person from. Just go to her. Just like her stuff. Let me see. She's originally from bachelor degree. Hold on. I'm in Australia settling. I help people migrate to Australia settle in this amazing country. The video is but she doesn't say where she's from. To Australia, she doesn't say that where she's from. Oh, only 8 million. Oh, interesting. Very good video. Very good video. Well, guys, there you have it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. I would like your guys' opinion. Is she's right? Is she missing something? Let me know. I will see you in the next one.